Just a pilot in his cockpit seated. Black leather on his ass, keep a hustler heated.
Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So the police are outside, not sure, they seem to have someone in the back. There was a incident with the contractors that are working in the house next door. I think it was on Saturday or Friday. Ton of cops came. I'll show you guys. It was like they just had gotten into some sort of fight. So I'm assuming that this has something to do with it. I walked outside and like the cop waved at me. There's a dude in the back, but I didn't see when he pulled up. So I'm gonna rewind it right now and see how the guy got in the back or what's going on. I'm trying to pinpoint the exact. Oh. I wasn't paying attention. All kinds of stuff happened. Alright, well, I guess that's that. They arrested someone and well, I don't know if they arrested them. They took someone to custody. And another cool thing is my dog will watch the cameras and bark at everything. I guess it's kind of cool, kind of annoying. But she's barking because she sees that in the cameras. And she's gonna go outside and bark, even though this is recorded, Anna, it's recorded. So for those of you that don't know, my house did flood in the hurricane. So I had good preparedness when the hurricane hit. I had like my generator, I had lots of fuel, I had lots of water, food, I had everything. But the generator, it should still work. I never needed it. I just never turned it on. And that's kind of concerning me now. And I need to get new fuel because I gave the fuel away to one of the gardeners because it was old and I wanted to get new fuel. But I thought he was moving, but I'm watching recorded feed again. I'm doing the same thing my dog just did. That's live. So I'm gotta get fuel for the generator going. And I wanted to try to do some sort of test because I have a really small generator. It's like 1,000 watts, and I just got it as like a basic generator that can run the fridge and a couple other things. I never really thought it could run like an AC or anything. And he's leaving. So it couldn't run the AC or anything, but just like a couple fridges, maybe a TV, something like that. And I think you can run most of that on 1,000 watts as long as you're careful, because I know the fridge has a huge surge speed when surge power when it starts up. I've never tried to run anything on a generator. I've actually never even used the generator. So I guess that's what we're going to be doing today. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so as you can see, it is raining, and that's one of the things that kind of prompted me. It's been raining for a while. And it just kind of reminded me of the, hurricane, and I know there's a hurricane going on in the Carolinas right now, and there's also one that has a chance of coming here, apparently. That whole thing about keeping the level low so it doesn't overflow, that all went out the window. I don't have time for that. The fish can't figure out how to swim to the bottom and not get washed out. There's not much I can do because it just rains too often, and it's just impossible to try to keep up with, making sure it stays low enough to not overflow, but not so low that they don't have enough water because it rains a ton here. So this is my fuel stores. I have 3 5-gallon fuel thingies. And here we got the generator. Let me pull my car out. Melt in the rain, I promise. So this is my little generator. It's been outside for a while, so it's dirty, and that's one of my concerns is like, is it still gonna work? But it's never been started, never been turned on, nothing. I know it takes 1030 oil. I got some 1030 oil. Minimum rating of 85 octane. Should be easy enough. But so this is a 1500 starting power and 1200 surge. I think I only paid like $100 for this thing. It was pretty cheap. God, it looks bad. It's all rusted and stuff. I just have what's left over in this, which is... this was outside too. So this should be a decent amount of fuel, enough to get it running, and then I got some motor oil too. So check this out. I have some bottles of Royal Purple Synchro Mesh. I don't remember what I was gonna... Synchro Max. I don't remember what I was gonna use it for, but it was for one of the cars that I never ended up doing. I think the WRX. I put the little cap on it on this, and this should enable me to fill it up without making a mess. Seems like it's got enough. All right. Should got a little bit of fuel. So what I'm going to test it with is going to be this Presto heat dish. It's off right now. I don't know what it pulls, but I think it's 1500 watts at the max. So if I put it on low, it should just draw some current. I need to put a kilowatt on here to see the actual draw. I'll do that later, but for now I just this is like a proof of concept just to show that it actually even starts up. So it's off, so don't worry, it's not going to create a load there. Let's try to turn it on. Doesn't seem like it's running too well. I guess that's a choke. Right in the money there. The exhaust is over here, facing away. Let's try turning this up a little bit. Turn it up all the way. Let's get it coiled. Sure moves around. Nice. So it worked. I mean, this thing, I'm gonna have to look up what this thing draws. It's a Presto heat dish, and I'll put it up on the screen, but it was on all the way. I mean, it's hot. Like, so what I'm thinking is I'm gonna try to fill this one up with 1 gallon. Then I'm going to try to find some way, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it in this video, but try to find some way to do like a test with 1 gallon of gas on a fixed amount of power. I mean, I'll have to put a kilowatt on it and see like how long a gallon of gas will last me, you know, using 1000 watts or something that's reasonable, and then see how many gallons I need to, you know, last a week or two or whatever it is I decide. And I do have some food store up here. That's a 30-day, and we also have food in the house, so we're in good shape. And this is just gonna have to chill outside for a little bit. It'll be fine. All right, I'm here at Chevron. Kind of ironic that I go to Chevron to get fuel for my generator, but I don't go to Chevron to get fuel for my car. Kind of crazy. And the reason for that is here in Texas, and this was totally not the case in California. And I don't really understand why, but you see, for regular, it's $2.63, decent price. and then it jumps up to $3.43 for 93. What's that about? Like, why is there such a huge jump? That's like almost a buck. That's like 80 cents. Why is it 80 cents more? In California, it's always 20 cents more. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is this little one, because I'm going to try to get exactly 1 gallon in there, and then we can do the test with that.
Trending, I'm Cheryl Lazar, YouTuber J-Lucian.
All right, 1 gallon, perfect. My goodness, this thing has ants all over it. What is that about? I know it was outside, but it's got like ants like hidden underneath the thing. There's a bunch of them. Ants apparently like fuel. This thing is completely full of ants. What? Why? There we go. That's the fuel store for the Hurricane. And it's regular because if we had to leave or something, we would take this car, of course, and this takes regular, so it's fine. And because I don't think the little generators and stuff work well with premium in them. It's gonna have ants all over the car now. And you see that was exactly 16 gallons, so I put a gallon in the first one, and then I just made sure I did 5 in the subsequent ones just to make sure it wasn't too full.
You're the husband.
All right, I'm back home. If anyone wants to remind my wife to actually put her plates on the car, feel free to, because I told her I'd do it for her, but she says she's gonna do it herself, and it obviously hasn't been done. So the plan is gonna be to right now empty this thing, probably run it until it runs out, and then from there, put the gallon in, as much of it as it'll hold, get the kilowatt on there, and see what it'll actually do. But one of the things I'm concerned about is that when this thing was running, it was vibrating everywhere, and it was like walking around the garage, and that sucked. So I got to find some way to like keep it still. Maybe just these will do it. So I'm just going to turn this on until it runs out all this gas. I'll probably put this on low just to make sure it's using it all. Then we'll do our test. Alright, got it running, and then I'm just going to turn this on to low. Then we're going to run this out, and then I'll do the full test. Alright, so it is off, and it should be out of fuel since I didn't turn it off. Why am I still seeing fuel in there? I'll try to see if I can get it slightly tilted on this side so it'll just run out the rest of that fuel. Alright, this thing is finally done. Man, this took forever. So let me show you what my setup here. So I got this plugged into the extension cord right now. I'm not going to use this because this used almost no power. But right now that's what this setup is using, 352 watts. I'm going to plug this guy into here. I want to get it up to like 800 or 900, like consistent. Oh wow, that's a lot. That would be more. So this thing on high, you just saw it went from whatever that was, like 300-400 to 1100. So this thing on high uses what, 800 watts? Okay, I grabbed my old desktop. So I'm gonna try to plug this in. No monitor or anything, but hopefully it'll just running will draw enough current to help us out. The heater seems to switch on and off unless it's on high, and high is too much power. Let's see what that got us up to, 430. See what it levels out to. Oh my god, after the surge, this thing's using like no power. Nothing uses power. So that's right about 400 watts we're using right now. I really want to get it up to like at least 6 or 7 because it's a 1200 watt thingy. Okay, I got the heater hooked back up. It's on high. I just want to see what it draws by itself. Right about 900 watts. So that's pretty much perfect. Looks like this is what it's going to be. Rather uneventful. I liked the fans running. It felt like there was more going on. And I still got to get that installed. I emailed Sirius HP and they haven't gotten back to me yet. So hopefully we'll be getting this installed.
Yeah.
They're trying to get the thing to stay put. It loves to vibrate around. Let's look at the fuel stores. Make sure we're actually out. Yep, looks really dry now. Okay, it looks like it's designed to hold right about a gallon. And this thing actually does work. I thought it did nothing, but it's a float. It was just too low for it to actually see anything. I'm gonna give it just a second so all the excess fuel can evaporate. Let's fire this guy up. 1 gallon test. How long will it run to 900 watts? So, we turn this guy on now. Watch. We're at a little bit under a half a tank. Still at about 970, 1.22 kilowatt hours. So it's about 6:30. So it's been going for a little over an hour and a half. went like 2.2. I don't know why it just did that. All right, I didn't see what it was. I'm gonna guess it was gonna total, I'll put it up on the screen right now, around 4 kilowatts, whatever it was, 4 kilowatt hours. So that means that at least with this load, and I probably could look up the specs for the generator, but I just don't trust that. I'd rather just test it myself. And I just never really used a generator, so I wanted to just see how it worked, how quickly it used the fuel, how loud it was, and it is decently loud. I did not expect it to run this late and this long. It's like it's 9 o'clock, so that means it ran for a little over 4 hours, like 4 hours and 5 minutes, which is pretty good, not bad, at 960 watts. That would mean that under that load, which I don't really know what I would be loading on it and stuff, like I'm just making sure I have a generator available. I imagine I'll know what I'll need it to run when it happens and hope it's big enough. Anyway, that means with the 15 gallons that I have stored here, I can run it for, you know, depending on what's going on, somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, 60 hours at like that big load. But, you know, I'm imagining the load is going to be significantly less and is probably going to be more efficient with the bigger load. So I imagine most of the time the tank will last, you know, probably 8 hours or something like that. Most likely, you know, running an AC, or not an AC, running a refrigerator, running like that kind of stuff, some fans, or I don't know, whatever you run, you know, in an emergency situation, whatever the stuff is you need to run, like computer, charging phones, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's not bad at all. I'm kind of impressed. You know, not that I had any idea of what to expect, so I guess that's why I'm impressed. So I thought it was going to run for just a couple hours. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Should I get some more fuel? I don't think so. But the fuel's also for the car in case, you know, we need it for the car in an emergency sort of situation. We would take it with us. So I can grab another 5 gallon or 2 and fill those up. I'm not really sure. And I need to get some sort of fuel stabilizer for these. I think, I don't know, I'll look on Amazon and see what I can find, but if anyone could recommend whatever stabilizer I need to put in it just to keep it minty fresh. I know there's a hurricane bearing down on the Carolinas and somewhere in the East Coast, and it looks pretty grim, so best of luck to them. I'll have them in my thoughts and prayers, because it's definitely scary, and if it stalls out over them and puts down a bunch of water, oh man. Houston's, despite what it seems like, is actually pretty good at dealing with lots of flooding and water. It's just, it can get overwhelmed, but like the minimum capacity is already very high for dealing with water. So if an area that's not used to flooding and significant rain were to get anything like that, I imagine it would be just absolutely horrible. So hopefully there's nothing like that. Anyway, that's it for now. Peace.
ass, keep a hustler heated. Weed is engaging the pavement. Brother escorts like I'm seeking arrangement. Push the gas, escalate the gauges, escalate hits on the cam.